So in this example, we're going to look at adding and subtracting some fractions and some mixed numbers. And two important points to remember when you're adding and subtracting with fractions is that you need to find a common denominator, and that it's a very good idea to deal with any whole numbers first. So in example 1 here, it's a non-calculator example, and in the first example part A here, we don't actually have any mixed numbers, we've just got some proper fractions. So what's first for us is to find that common denominator, and that will be the lowest common multiple of 7 and 4, and the smallest number that 7 and 4 both divide into evenly is 28. So the denominator is going to become 28 on both of these fractions, and then we need to think to ourselves, well, how did that become 28? It was 7. We multiplied it by 4, which means we must do the same to the numerator as well. 2 4s giving us 8. And if you think about it for a minute, 8 over 28 will simplify down because both these numbers divide by 4, and that would get you back to 2/7. So we've got the same fraction, it's an equivalent fraction, it just looks different, but it has the same value. Same thing over here with the minus quarter. We've turned the denominator into 28 because we multiplied by 7, so we need to do the same to the numerator and multiply it by 7 as well. In this case, 7 ones are just 7, and that allows us to do the subtraction now, because we're talking exclusively about 28s. If we get 8 28s and we take away 7 of those 28s, then it's natural there to find 1 28th left. On to the second one here, part B. We have got some mixed numbers, and as I said earlier, good idea just to deal with those mixed numbers first, which means 5 plus 1 giving us 6. Now this is 3/4 that needs to be added, so it's 6 and 3/4 and another third, and then we can start to think about the fractions. So remember, the whole number will always be part of this. 3/4 plus third, very tricky to add those together unless you find that common denominator, and again we're looking for the lowest common multiple, this time of 4 and 3, and that would be 12. So our denominators on both fractions become 12. It was a 4 underneath here, we multiplied it by 3 to make it into 12, so we must multiply the numerator by 3. 3 3s are 9, and on this fraction the denominator went from 3 to 12 because we multiplied it by 4, so we need to do the same to the numerator there on that second fraction of 4 ones are 4. So what we've now got is 9/12 plus 4/12, which is 13/12. And there's something a wee bit weird about that fraction, because we've got the whole number part and we've got this part, the fractional part, which is itself an improper fraction. Improper meaning the numerator is bigger than the denominator. We've got 13/12. It only takes 12/12 to make a whole. So what we've got here, 13/12 means we've got enough to make another whole and 1/12 left over. So that extra whole that comes out of this 13/12 can join the 6 to make 7, and we have 1/12 left over. And then the final one here in this set, we have 3 and 5 6 take away 1 3/4, and the first thing to do is the whole number, so 3 take 1 giving us 2, that leaves us with 2 and 5 6. We still need to take away this 3/4 here. Common denominator is what we need, and in the past, two examples, the lowest common multiple was also the same as the result of multiplying the two denominators together. And if you multiply these two denominators together, you get 24, but that's not the lowest common multiple of 6 and 4. And you really want to find the lowest common multiple to save you having to simplify later on. So actually, if you go up to 6 times 0, the first station after 6 is a 12. 6 2s are 12, and 4 goes into 12, so our lowest common multiple is actually 12. Doubling the 6 to make 12 means we need to double the 10. Double the 5 to make 10. And what happened to the 4? Well, it must have multiplied by 3 to make it into 12, so we need to do the same to the 3 at the top there, and multiply it by 3 to make 9. So what we've now got, 10/12 take 9/12, 2 and 1/12. And because we managed to find the lowest common multiple of 6 and 4 and use this 12, there's no simplifying needed at the end. So to summarise, adding and subtracting fractions, you'll need a common denominator, and if there are any whole numbers, then deal with them first.